Hi, I'm Jasmine Baker, and this is my third Giving Voice to Values presentation for Accounting 6650 with Dr. David Christensen. I have chosen to analyze the Research Triangle Software Innovations case. We'll do a brief overview of the case, and then we'll discuss the analysis. Roseanne was asked to complete an analysis of 3 different software companies to recommend to the firm's client, Oak Manufacturing. She has completed this analysis and provided it to Gary Booth, her supervisor. Gary has chosen the second best option with Research Triangle software. Steve Michaels, who is the engagement partner for Oak Manufacturing, is questioning the reasoning behind the choosing of the second option, Research Triangle software. Let's discuss the key parties here. We have, of course, Roseanne Field. This decision could cause a loss of integrity for her if they move forward with it, or it could possibly be a loss of job if she doesn't want to go along with the decision. We have Gary Booth, who is excited to earn more revenue for his firm. However, he is also looking at a loss of job or reputation if this decision moves forward. We have Steve Michaels. He is looking at a loss of clients' trust, as well as setting a low ethical tone of the firm. We, of course, have the firm as well. They could develop a bad reputation by the appearance of a conflict of interest. We also have Oak Manufacturing, who is a client looking for a recommendation of a software company. They could ultimately end services if they feel like they're being misled or being provided inaccurate information. And of course, we have the public, who could lose trust with the firm if they feel that this is not an ethical decision. Some arguments that we need to think about is, of course, materiality. Maybe the difference between Research Triangle and Longhorn is not very material. So in effect, it doesn't matter which of the two you choose. We also have some locus of loyalty. Gary is very loyal to the firm and wants to bring in more money and do good for the firm. He also maybe has a little bit of loyalty towards Research Triangle and would like them to be happy with him referring them to Oak Manufacturing. We could also bring in Steve's concern about a conflict of interest. It's a very valid argument as well. Some levers that we can use in our conversations with these two fellas is we can go over the analysis with Gary a second time to ensure that he sees Longhorn as an economical choice, not just picking the one we already provide services for. We can also explain to Gary and Steve that this is a conflict of interest as we provide services to both clients. And by that conflict of interest, we need to explain that it could cause a loss of reputation and trust that the firm has in the industry and with clients. We also need to remind them of their responsibility and oath they took as a CPA to provide accurate and independent information to the public. Most powerful arguments, we need to speak with Gary and Steve and make sure they know that Longhorn is the most economical choice, even if the difference is small and it's immaterial. That is something for Oak Manufacturing to decide, not for the firm to decide. We also want to convince Gary and Steve that by recommending Research Triangle, they're creating a conflict of interest as we offer services for Research Triangle and Oak Manufacturing already. We should not recommend that if it is not the top choice, especially. And of course, remind them again that they're CPAs and they have a responsibility to the public to provide fair and accurate information, as well as independent information. Just a little bit about leadership and conclusions on this case. I feel that Steve's leadership style in this case is a values-driven or a transformational approach, as he's trying to do the right thing and provide the benefits to the client and the public overall. Gary's is not. It's definitely more personal driven. He's wanting to advance his position a little bit more in the firm and create more revenue and be recognized that way. If Steve does agree with Gary in this, Roseanne could make one last attempt to show the conflict of interest, and then she could raise it to HR or the CFO, CEO, somewhere above Gary and Steve. And then, of course, she could quit this job and move forward with a different company. Does this situation provides some violations in the AICPA Code of Conduct. Before choice is made, there could be some gray area. They do provide services to both, but if they just give their recommendations and analysis and not pick for the client, could be okay. However, if they do move forward with referring research triangle, they will be in violation as they provide services to both companies, and it would be a violation of the independence, objectivity principle. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.